better than us. So T.O. sees something and he believes that he can beat Crawford. No matter what nobody else thinks. It's all about what he thinks.
No, of course.
You know, I think it's a great fight. I think it's an awesome fight.
Tank and Crawford's feud has been intensifying and doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. Fans have been riveted to their TVs for a few days as the two boxing celebrities have been verbally sparring with one another. Music, what began as a small spark, has grown into a full-fledged conflict.
He's at a lower weight class than me. He's at 135, I'm at 147. That's 2 weight classes apart.
So he would have to come up.
Yeah, because I wouldn't never.
You can't get that low.
So that's not gonna happen. Because I saw people talking about it. You don't think that'll ever happen?
And neither man is willing to back down. Tanks are aggressively crying out to Ashings, who is certain that he can put him to sleep once they get inside. It all started when Gervonta "Tank" Davis voiced his frustration about not being invited to the prestigious Ring Magazine Gala, an event celebrating the biggest names in boxing.
You know, Darren would be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Feeling snubbed, Davis took to social media with fiery posts criticizing those who made the guest list. True to form, he deleted the post minutes later, likely hoping to erase the evidence. Unfortunately for him, the internet never forgets and screenshots quickly spread across platforms.
Defeated? And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
All right. Among those who noticed was Terence Crawford, who didn't miss the opportunity to stoke the flames. Posting on X, Crawford quipped, "See somebody mad they wasn't invited to the Ring Magazine Gala." That single comment was all it took to ignite a feud. Davis, known for his quick temper and sharp retorts, fired back with a series of angry posts aimed directly at Crawford. The Baltimore native's emotions were on full display, and the tension between the two fighters escalated rapidly. What started as a social media outburst soon became a full-fledged feud, captivating fans and adding another chapter to the ongoing drama in boxing. Whether this rivalry leads to a future clash in the ring remains to be seen, but the sparks are already flying. What began as a little dispute over a Gaia swiftly escalated into a contentious discussion about wealth, legacy, and who is really in charge of the boxing industry. Tank, who was well known for his ostentatious lifestyle and love of flaunting himself, made it apparent that he thought his wealth gave him an advantage over Crawford. In what seemed to be a direct challenge to Bud's pride, he wrote, "And I still make more than you."
Tank he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he explosive. You know what I mean? But I'm saying skill-wise and in the mind, I don't think neither.
Crawford wasn't going to let that get the better of him, and he responded with a scathing remark that called out Gervonta for being money-obsessed and uninterested in leaving a lasting legacy. For Crawford, it was more important to consider who had overcome the most difficult obstacles and left their stamp on the sport than it was to consider who was wealthy. The bad blood between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Terence "Bud" Crawford is far from new. Their animosity dates back to 2023, when Crawford squared off against Errol Spence Jr. in one of the year's most anticipated fights. During that rivalry, Davis made no secret of his loyalty to Spence, a close friend, which naturally put him at odds with Crawford. This old grudge has only added fuel to their current feud, making the tension between them even more explosive.
About me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
Things took a turn for the worse recently when Tank escalated their social media spat to a new low. After Crawford playfully jabbed at Davis for not being invited to the Ring Magazine Gala, Tank responded with a now-deleted tweet that many felt crossed a major line. In the post, Davis made a cruel comment about Crawford's family, saying, "And he got like 8 kids and his wife like 380 pounds. Yeah, Bud gotta work overtime.
Terence Crawford would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about about the fight. Me and gonna know each other, and then we wanna.
The backlash was swift and unforgiving. Fans and critics alike condemned Davis for dragging Crawford's family into their argument. Screenshots of the tweet spread quickly, igniting outrage across social media. Comments like, "Tank deletes all his defamatory tweets. He throws shots, then hides his hands. And a 30-year-old man acting like this," flooded the platforms. Many expressed disappointment, with one fan writing, "Tank's insecurity is showing. He's fighting Lamont Roach, while Terence Crawford is negotiating a fight with Canelo." Others felt Davis had gone too far, calling the comment unnecessary and personal. While Davis faced heavy criticism, the fighters remain on vastly different career trajectories. Tank is preparing for his upcoming bout against Lamont Roach Jr.
And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I would.
A skilled but less prominent opponent. Many fans believe Davis should be taking on bigger names and accuse him of playing it safe to protect his record. This sentiment has only intensified with accusations from Floyd Schofield Sr. and others, suggesting Davis is avoiding top-tier competition in his division. On the other hand, Terence Crawford is riding high after his dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr. last year, a performance that cemented his status as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Crawford's name is now being linked to an even bigger opportunity, a potential super fight against Canelo Alvarez. Negotiations for this blockbuster event are reportedly underway, with Turkish promoter Ahmet Munir involved in the process. Fans are eagerly awaiting updates, as a Crawford-Canelo showdown would be one of the most significant fights in recent boxing.
And I think the only guy that's dumb enough to take it, because he has a lot of ego right now, I mean, for him to even call somebody that I know of, just to be like, this is how I want my things to be presented, it just already lets me know it's over his head, and that's Terence Crawford. I can't think of these other guys.
History. As their careers unfold, the contrast between Davis and Crawford is stark. Crawford is chasing legacy-defining challenges, while Davis is increasingly seen as avoiding the top names in his division. For now, the feud between them continues to simmer, fueled by past grudges, social media clashes, and the ever-present scrutiny of fans. Whether this animosity will lead to an actual fight between the two remains uncertain, but the drama is keeping the boxing world talking. The stark difference in career trajectories has become another flashpoint in the ongoing feud between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Terence "Bud" Crawford. Crawford's fans argue that while he is chasing legacy-defining fights, Davis seems more focused on easier paydays. This contrast has only added fuel to the tension. Crawford, known for his willingness to prove himself against the best, clearly views himself as operating on a higher level. Meanwhile, Tank supporters countered that his star power and knockout ability make him one of the most exciting fighters in the sport, regardless of the level of his opponents. As insults continue to fly on social media, fans are left wondering if all this animosity could eventually lead to a showdown in the ring. A fight between Davis and Crawford would undoubtedly be a massive event, drawing attention from across the boxing world. However, significant hurdles stand in the way. For one, the two fighters compete in vastly different weight classes. Davis is a natural lightweight, while Crawford has been dominating the welterweight division and is eyeing a potential move to super middleweight. The logistics of making such a fight happen would be challenging, to say the least. Still, the prospect of Davis and Crawford settling their feud with gloves instead of tweets is a tantalizing one for fans. While the odds of it happening are slim, the thought of these two dynamic fighters meeting in the ring keeps the boxing community buzzing.
You know, it's not that much names. We got a new division now, new faces in my division. So,
as one of the greatest boxers of all time, Terence Crawford has solidified his reputation. Despite having a career that many fighters could only imagine, Crawford, 37, has accomplished everything, including being the undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, capturing world championships in 4 others, and amassing an impeccable 41-fight record. He has stated that he wants to compete against the biggest names in the sport before he quits. And one of those names may be Teofimo Lopez. He is not satisfied with simply riding off into the sunset quietly. Lopez, the WBO super lightweight champion, who is renowned for his blunt language and his confidence, hasn't held back from calling Crawford out. When asked about his ideal opponent for 2025 in a recent interview with Box Nation, Lopez was blunt about who he wants to fight next. Since Canelo is here, it may be Crawford Lopez, hinting at his ambitious aspirations to take on the best of the best. Lopez boldly uttered Crawford's name, demonstrating no fear of entering the ring with one of the top tunes and one of the most feared fighters in the sport. Not surprisingly, Lopez is aiming for Crawford. A bout with Bud would not only earn him a huge salary, but also provide him the opportunity to establish his own reputation at the age of 27. In his shocking win over Vasil, Lopez, who is already a two-weight world champion, had moments of exceptional skill in the ring. He became well known as one of boxing's emerging talents at La Loma Kingdom 2020, but taking on Crawford would be a very other challenge. Crawford is practically impenetrable because to his skill, experience, and adaptability in the ring. And many people think Lopez would be taking on more than he can handle.